Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, we're going to be learning how to sew this beautiful princess dart bustier with asymmetric neckline. The cutting tutorial of this blouse has been uploaded. If you're yet to see it, kindly check description box for the link or you check up on the channel to see the video, okay? In today's tutorial, we are going to be learning only on how to sew this blouse. I advise you watch the cutting tutorial. After watching, you can come back here and continue with the sewing part, okay? So you understand everything I did. So these are the pattern drafting from our last tutorial. I already transferred them to the actual fabric with half an inch stitching allowance all the way around and the zipper allowance as well, okay? So the next thing I want to do now is to cut the lining, then I'll cut my wadding and also iron my hairstay. All right, so I'll just do that. Have gone ahead to cut the lining as you can see and have ironed my hairstay. I've also cut the wadding and ironed my wadding as well. So the first thing I want to do is to note the wrong side of my lining. Mark the wrong side of your lining, okay? This will guide you when stitching the linings together. So I'll remove the patterns and the linings. I'll remove them, keep them aside. You can see what I have here. This is the wrong side. I've already ironed my wadding. So the next thing I want to do now is to stitch these three pieces together. I'll use half an inch to do that. Stitch with your half an inch, okay? So these are the back piece. I will also note the wrong side of the lining. You can see I will note the wrong side of the lining. So after marking, the next thing I want to do is to remove my patterns and I will, place the linings very well. Then turn the right side of my piece. After arranging, I will place my pattern again. Then I'll extend the waistline. I want to remove zipper broadness. Okay, I want to subtract the half inch we always took out on the waistline of the center back to avoid zipper bulginess. So I've went ahead to do that and I'll just cut it out like so. This will avoid zipper bulginess after attaching your zip at the back. Okay, so when doing this, ensure your lining is well placed and I also extend this line. At the point I extended the line, I'll use half inch to join my zip. Remember the zip allowance was 1 inch, okay? So I'll use half an inch to join the zip when I get to the waistline. Then I'll stitch the two back piece with half inch. I'll repeat the same thing on the lining as well. We have three back piece, so this is the third piece. I won't be stitching the lining, I'll just keep it like this, okay? So I've gone ahead to stitch the front and have also ironed my seam opening. I also notched as well. So this is what I have here after it's done. So I'm going to turn the right side of my blouse. You can see what we have here. Can you see? And this is lining. I did the same thing on the lining. Okay, this is the back piece, the princess dart back piece, and also this is the lining. You can see what I have here after it's done. The next thing you want to do is to place the two back piece right side facing each other like so. I'll place the two back piece right side facing each other. Then I will pin from the side. Make sure the two back piece and the front piece, make sure they are very relaxed, okay, before you pin. So the reason I'm doing this is I want to check if I'll have any excesses. So now after pinning, you can see I already have excesses, okay. After pinning on this side, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, okay? When you are pinning this, ensure the both fabrics are well placed and very relaxed. So for the other side, I'll first hold the zip allowance. I'll use pin to hold the zip allowance. You can also run a loose stitch on your zip allowance. Just secure it in place like so, okay? So go ahead and hold your zipper allowance first. Then after holding your zipper allowance, you're going to pin the other side. If you have excesses on the other side after holding your zipper allowance, then you cut it out, okay? Nothing spoil. Just go ahead and do whatever you see me doing here. All right. So now I have pinned the both side, and for the shoulders, I'm going to make sure everything relaxes very, very well. I'll make sure they relaxes very, very well. Okay. So after I was done with this, next thing I want to do is to turn the other side of the piece. Okay, I'll turn the other side of the piece so I can see the excesses I had. Do you get? So now this is the excesses. You can see the excesses I have on the neckline, the both side, and on the armhole. So I'm going to trim the excesses I have on the both side, the armhole, the shoulder part, the neckline part. So guys, I'm done trimming all the excesses I have. As you can see, I'll also repeat the same thing on the lining, but that will be off camera. The next thing I will do is to stitch the both shoulder using half inch stitching allowance. I'll do the same thing on the lining. So I've gone ahead to do that, and this is the lining. I've also stitched the shoulder part with half inch after trimming the excesses I have on the lining. Can you see? The next thing I want to do is to extend the neckline to the armhole like so. Okay, I'll use my marker to extend the neckline to the armhole, then I'll cut it out. I want to have a separate shoulder because I want to cut the cape. All right, so I've gone ahead to cut out the shoulder. As you can see, I'll remove the pins I have on the both side and on the zip allowance, so I'll have separate piece. So this was what I had here after I was done. Can you see? So now I'll keep the front and back piece aside. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the lining. The one I cut out separate, I'm going to place it the wrong side facing each other on the lining part. Arrange the both shoulder in place. Okay, now after that, I'm going to use chalk to, I'll trace the shoulder like so using my chalk. Then I'll cut it out. I want to also have a separate shoulder on the lining as well. So after cutting, the next thing I want to do is to cut the cape for this particular piece. Okay, so I'll keep this aside, then I'll fold my crepe fabric. I have just a pieces of crepe, so I'll just fold like so. From the wrong side, I'll fold into two. Then I'll place the neckline for the back piece and the shoulder part. I'll just place like so. Then I'll start from that zip allowance side, trace it out. I'll trace the neckline, then also trace the other side. Okay, you just trace like so. Now after you are done with this, you're going to determine the width you want for your cape. I ended up marking about 3.5 inch on the other side. Okay, and I'll cut it out. I'll still reduce it because it's very bold. My piece is not enough, like I have a small pieces, so I want it to be very enough for the front as well. Okay, so now I'm going to lay it on the neckline, then I'll turn it the other side, so I'll cut out the excess I have. Okay, so I'll just trace it again, then I'll cut the excess I have just like this. After cutting, I will note the wrong side of the cape using my chalk. I will cut the front and back cape as well. Okay, so my fabric was not enough, like I said earlier. So if your fabric is enough, just place it like so, then trace the neckline. If you are tracing this, you start from the bust line and trace the neckline. Then also determine the width you want for your cape or band. Then after cutting out, you are going to duplicate it. Okay, you will have double of this, then sew from the bottom part of the cape. Turn it outside right after you are done and make a top stitch on the neckline of the cape. Okay, since mine wasn't enough, I decided to take the measurement I have on the neckline. I got 29.5 inch. After that, then I folded this one in a bias form, like I folded in a triangular shape. I'm using a black crepe. I folded the black crepe in a triangular shape, then I'll add extra 1 inch to the inch I already got on the neckline. So what I marked there was a total of 30.5 inch. I'll do the same thing here. Now I'm going to divide the neckline. I got 29.5 inch on the neckline, and the total length I have there is 30 and a half. 30 and a half divided by 2 will give me 15.2. So I marked the midpoint. As you can see from the midpoint, I'll go in by 3.5 inch. Then on the other side, I marked 3 inch, as you can see. So I'm going to connect from that point to the 3 inch I mark. Then I'll get to this part. After that, I'll cut it out. When I get to this point, I will leave it and mark 2 inch here. Then I'll connect from the 2 inch to the 3.5 inch. Then I'll continue my cutting. So I'll cut till I get to this end, just like this. Okay, so I'll note the wrong side of the crepe and also notch the midpoint. So this midpoint I notch will be placed on the shoulder. So this is the neckline. I will place the notched part on the shoulder of the neckline like so. Can you see? When placing, I came out by half inch so that this cape will last very well. But I later reduced the cape width. Okay, if you want yours as big as this one, you can just leave it like that. So for me, I'll just make sure everything is well relaxed and well placed. So I will continue doing that till I get to the zip allowance side. So when I get here, I'll just trim the excess out in a slant manner, not straight. You trim it out in a slant manner. Then I'm going to arrange the shoulder like so. Okay, because I noticed it was somehow rumpled, so I arranged it again. So while arranging this, I had to trim out the excesses I had on the other side. Okay, so after placing the cape, just to check very well if you have any rough parts or anywhere that is folded. Just make sure everything is arranged properly and well placed. After that, if you have any excess, you cut it out. That's why I said it's best for you to trace the neckline. That will give you more comfort and stress free. Okay, so after trimming the excesses, you can see what I have here. I will keep it aside. So I'll first join the cape of this back piece. Okay, I'll join the cape of this back piece. I'll arrange very properly. You can see there was no stress in placing this cape. Okay, there was no stress placing this cape on this side. So I'll just pin. After pinning, I'll have it looking like this. Okay, so I'll trim the excess I have, and also on the shoulder part, just trim the excess. If there's any excess at all, you trim it out. Okay, so after placing like so, I will also place the lining. All right, I will place the lining just this way. I'll use pin to arrange everything in place. Continue pinning till I get to the other end. So I measure what I have here. It was 3.5, and I'll measure on this side. It was just 3. So I'll trim the half inch because I want it at the same length. Okay, after attaching zip, so I'll trim the hem part of the lining with half an inch because I want to have a turn up effect. So the next thing I want to do is to stitch the bottom part, both side and on the neckline, leaving the armhole opening. So I've gone ahead to do that. You can see the areas I stitched. In case you don't understand what I said or you couldn't hear me well, this was the area I stitched, and I also notched the neckline, trimmed the excesses, then turned the right side of the fabric and also made a top stitch on the shoulder. So this is what I have here after I was done with this piece. The next thing I want to do now is to stitch the neckline for the front and back. I've gone ahead to do that. I've stitched the neckline for the front and back, and I've also notched as well. So I'll bring the other piece, that is remaining back piece. I'll just bring it like so because I want to attach it. So you're going to attach this on that. Okay, you will attach this on that. I've already marked the that point. That bustier line you have there, just attach it at that point exactly. Then go ahead and stitch. Just stitch with 1/4 inch. Okay, so after stitching, you will have it looking like so. Okay, but before I stitch, I will place my lining piece, the front and back lining piece. I will place it like so. Just watch what I'm doing here. I will place, then I'll stitch from the neckline with half inch. I'll stitch the side, and also I will trim out about half inch from the bottom of the lining. From the hem part of the lining, I will trim half inch. You can leave the curve just trim half inch on the bottom part of the both linings. Okay, you can actually leave the curves so you don't have any difficulties after turning outside right. So I've gone ahead to sew. As you can see, after sewing, I already attached my zip. As you can see, the next thing I want to do is to pin the both side because I want to shape the blouse. So I'll pin the both side. When pinning, please ensure you arrange everything together. Okay, then I'll continue pinning. I'll also pin the armhole. Because this is a princess dart, I will fold the piece into two, like I'll fold the blouse into two like this. I'll fold into two because I will trimming the armhole. You know, after sewing a princess dart, you must trim your armhole so that it will relax very properly. From the shoulder, I came down by 6 inch. Then I'll make my armhole curve like so. I'll use scissors to cut it out just this way. I'll use scissors to cut it out. So after cutting, guys, you can see what I have here. The armhole is well relaxed and it's very neat. Can you see? So anytime you make a princess dart blouse or dresses, remember to trim the armholes. Okay. So now that I'm done with this, I'll measure the armhole length. I have 8 inch there, and 8 inch is very normal for me. So the next thing I want to do is to take my bust measurement divided by 2. I'll mark it on the waistline. I will take my waist measurement divided by 2. I'll mark it. At the bottom part, I will take my hip measurement divided by 2. I will also mark. Then I'll connect my shape. I'll go ahead and stitch. So I've gone ahead to shape my blouse, as you can see. After shaping, guys, this is what I have. Can you see? This is for the front and this is for the back. I'm here to iron, but I'll still iron later. You can see how perfect the zip is sitting. So the next thing you want to do now is to attach any sleeve of your choice. The picture inspiration, we have a normal fitted sleeve, also known as basic short sleeve. So I've gone ahead to attach my basic short sleeve, which is a fitted sleeve. So after cutting and attaching it, you can see what I have here. For this sleeve, I have a tutorial on how to achieve a basic short sleeve. Link will be in the description box. I hope I tried, guys. This is really beautiful. You can increase your own band. Okay, it depends on what you want. My fabric wasn't enough. I was just managing my fabric. The zip is also sitting very perfectly at the back, as you can see. So guys, you have come to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Bye.